you come in. Here, let me turn this down. Hi, my name is Sean Ashcraft, and I'm here to talk about today's Aquawizard equipment spectacular. We now have the Yamaha... What is it called again? The Yamaha Stagepas 400BT portable PA system. And we were hearing a small sample, a fair use, non-copyright takedown, fair use example of a Bluetooth stream of Glenn Gould playing Goldberg Variations, the aria, just the that's Johann Sebastian Bach. So there you go. It was Bluetoothing through the, what was it called again? The Yamaha Stagepas 400BT portable PA system. And I'm talking into a Shure SM58 microphone, and it is plugged into we'll just call it the PA system. How about that? So today's video is going to talk about the wonderful features of the PA system. I've got a lovely 2-camera setup here with multiple audio, and we also have multiple cameras audio. And if I mix everything all together, it'll probably sound pretty bad. But you know, today I'm going to just talk about how this thing works, and we'll give a little demo of the thing. So here, as you can see, there's no direct connection between, well, you probably can't see, but there's no direct connection between the computer system and my computer speakers and the PA. We're just going to run everything through the PA, which is a lot simpler than the way things used to be. Just trust me on that one. So what we've got here is we've got multiple channel inputs to the PA. The cool thing about the mixer unit here is that this packs into the back of one of the speakers, and later I might turn one of the cameras around so we can see a speaker or two, but for now we'll just focus on the PA mixer. Not only is this a mixer, it's also a built-in amplifier. So basically you plug your things into each channel, and then what you do is you can send the outputs to different places. So here the first output is called monitor out. This is what this thing here is. If we wanted to record, like I'm doing right now, the audio that's going into the PA, we can use the monitor out to send it to that record machine, which is what I'm doing here. Or you can send this to other speakers. So if we wanted to have like a whole bunch of like monitors and loudspeakers and even a subwoofer, we could plug them in here. But the default thing though is to plug your inputs, which I'll explain further in a bit. But the big thing is to plug the big red, they're not that big, but the red tipped TS cables. These are the loudspeaker cables. They're red. You plug it into the red port, pretty easy, and then those go to the speakers. Some other options we have here, something that's kind of cool, is that it came with a little foot pedal. This foot pedal we can plug into the foot switch, and it turns on the effects, which is kind of neat. The effects are called reverb, by the way. Just fun fact. And then there's also a subwoofer out. I won't explain this because the subwoofer I got is not really part of the shared equipment. But if you do have the subwoofer, that'll send the signal to it. So anyway, let's talk about the inputs now that we've talked about the outputs. Oh, and by the way, the Bluetooth guy here, all you got to do to pair it, you put it into pairing mode, get your device, do the Bluetooth thing, pair it. It's like pretty obvious how to do it, I think. But and then once you start playing some audio, like I'm doing here, just turn up the Bluetooth channel or level 7 or number 7 and 8. Very easy way to do a quick sound check there, or just to get some levels in. Yeah, that's in here. So the way this kind of works, audio-wise, is your audio's got to come in first, so you got to plug it in. and then you have to turn the level up for any given channel. So my microphone is here on level 1. I can turn it up louder. I can make it softer. But either way, you got to have it somewhere. And it seems like putting it at the, I'm not sure if you can see it in the camera, but putting it at the notch seems to be a good spot for that guy. So plug in your things. You might not be able to see it too well on the camera, but each channel has a couple different input options. And basically, whatever you're plugging into it, set that channel to that option. So I plugged in a microphone cable here, this guy. And so I set the button. I'm not sure if you can see the button, but I set the button to the mic mode. You could send a line level signal, like something that comes from a computer or something like that, into these, and then you would set the line level there. But most of the time you're plugging in mics. Channel 4 has a couple of interesting features. So you can plug a TS or TRS cable into channels 3 and 4. Channel 3 just says line, which is really kind of meaning this is just another line input that you could use. But channel 4's got a special button, which I think you can see. It says high Z. The idea with a high Z input is instruments that have an inductive load, like a bass or a guitar, they want to see a certain type of input. So basically they're raw magnets that create the signal. They want to see a different type of load than other types of signals. So you usually use a high Z input. Otherwise, most other things are low Z. But that is just a fun fact. So if you plug in your bass or heaven forbid, guitar. Bass sounds good in the PA, but guitar does generally not sound good plugged directly into the PA. Just set it to line, set it to high Z. You can fiddle with the level after that. I'll show that off here in a little bit with the bass. But yeah, that's kind of the story there with that. Channels 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. They're dual channel numbers because they're stereo pairs, so that just means you have a left and a right input for both of those. So you can plug in like a CD, an iPod. Bluetooth comes in on channel 7 and 8. And they have a stereo mono button here. You only really need that if like you only have one input and you want it to come out of both loudspeakers. Otherwise, you can use the stereo to send left channel to the left speaker and blah, blah, blah. So let me talk about the green knobs. Those are the EQ knobs. You got a high and a low. Basically, like my mic, I cut the low off the mic because I like to put the mic right in my face. And then we've got the high there just to give it a little high-end boost, because why not? I could cut all the frequencies out. I can extremely boost the high frequencies. Same with the low frequencies. Or I could just have no bass, but I think this is a good live level. And then you have the blue knob, which is the reverb amount. So all this is when you hit the reverb on, this is just how much reverb there's going to be. So now I have no reverb, even though the reverb's on, and now I have reverb because it's turned up and the reverb's on. This blue knob over here changes the type of reverb. So you can have some different sounds. Here's a room. Here's plate, which is a vintage style reverb. Hall, which is like a natural big reverb. Room's kind of I'm in a big metal room or something like that. And then echo. Echo is like this. So that's fun. All right, that pretty much explains all the inputs. Monitor out is a level control just for what's being sent to either the tape machine or your monitor speakers. This green knob down here is the EQ master, so this changes what goes to the loudspeakers and not what goes to the output. But if you need more bass in the loudspeakers, switch it over to bass boost mode. If you need to just do somebody talking into a PA, switch it over to speech mode. Otherwise, I'll just leave it in music mode most of the time. So once you get all your stuff set up and you feel like it's pretty good, then you can turn up the master. Check, check, 8. And now I'm in the room because it's going through the loudspeakers and it's also going through the subwoofer. So note that the monitor out and the master are 2 completely different outputs. So that's why you can hear me talk through the mic separate from the loudspeaker. But both of these need this to be turned up for it to work. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. And then if you have feedback, hit the feedback suppressor. That does something to prevent feedback. I can't remember what it is. If you have a microphone that needs phantom power, you can turn on that just for channels 1 and 2, and they both have to turn on. Otherwise, it's just on and off. Plug it into somewhere that can provide up to however many watts this needs. I forget. That's pretty much it. I don't know. Let me pick up my guitar and hopefully that wide shot didn't look really awkward with me standing where I was, but that's just how it's going to be sometimes, you know. Let me show off the bass function. That way I can show off like the subwoofer, I guess. All right, let's see if I get this coming through. All right, I don't know what I'm playing. I'm just playing some random thing. So yeah, I basically have the bass plugged in to that channel, like I said, and I have the high Z selected, and I've it turned up a little bit louder than my voice, but maybe it doesn't need to be that loud. I'm not sure. And let's hear how it sounds in the loudspeakers. Chip, chip. That's why what I'm playing is weird, is the bass is in a weird tuning. Oh, that's not right. It's like in an open tuning a little bit. Yeah. Not sure if you could really hear a difference there when I hit the high Z button on and off, but the level changed a little bit. The tone was slightly different. I mean, it's barely noticeable. So if you happen to remember to hit the high Z button when you plug in an instrument directly into the system, that's cool. Otherwise, don't worry about it. As long as you can hear it, it's going to be fine. Just one of those like little details that I appreciated getting from this thing. That's really about it. I mean, everything else, like you can't, like, the Zoom recorder has the built-in stereo mic, so I was figuring to do like a quick, like, little easy demo. We could have like 3 microphones for like our vocals, like maybe Brad and Andrew could share a mic, plug. Or we could have 4 vocal microphones if Andrew just uses his own bass cab. So there's, 4 dynamic inputs, I suppose you could say, and then a couple of line level inputs. But yeah, we can go directly in, and then the recorder has a built-in stereo mic. So I'm recording this just as is, and I'm also recording the built-in stereo. So that's a few different channels there. Some other thoughts, we could bring the subwoofer and throw in a bass microphone or a kick microphone to like get a little bit more sub, so that Andrew and the kick drum are like pretty equal bass rumble awesomeness. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. This should be a lot simpler than plugging into the complicated computer system and then having to have the software loaded, and there's like direct monitoring, or you can do software monitoring, and you can do a little bit of a mix of both. And it's just, I was just getting overwhelmed the last time we were dealing with that stuff, and I was like, what if we just go back to, you plug it into the mixer, you turn up the knob to hear it in the speaker. That's all you really need, right? So it's not going to be as fine-grained of a control as the software, but that's okay because we don't really want it. So we would rather just play music. So awesome. So yeah, I'll try to remember how to play this open tuning a little better, and then I'll just have us play out here.